Hey guys, welcome back to another Swiss01 video, and today we are at an airport of special sort again. Yeah, today we are in Scandinavia again. To be exact, we are in Norway today. This airport is called Ørsta-Volda. Only turboprops are able to operate here, or are allowed to operate here. For example, the 737 is already too big for this airport, but is it though? Let's find that out today. But yeah, I can already tell that a restriction like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, this apron is like not even able to hold like more than 2 planes. And also the runway is only 1 kilometer long. And something that I've just noticed is that there's a huge bump towards the end of the runway here. We might not want to be too fast over that bump. That will be a problem for later on, right? So yeah, let's experience a landing at this airport. Now, even in a small plane, this airport is pretty hard to approach. Not a lot of pilots like it, which kind of does make sense. You know what? We haven't tried the Challenger 300 in a while. You know, just a classic private jet. That one should be able to operate here. Maybe not on paper, actually. I think it needs at least a 3,000 feet runway. This one is barely 3,000 feet, but we'll find that out. Yeah, the approach into this airport is not that comfortable, I would say. You know, between these mountains. This is actually quite close to this mountain here. You know, I can already tell why pilots don't really like this airport. Now, the scenery that I've installed here is from Orbex. It's actually Orbex freeware. I found it recently. Yes, there is actually Orbex freeware, which is great. Okay, we are coming in nicely. Let's touch down as quickly as possible. Yeah, this place is really not a place for floated landings. We probably destroyed our landing gear with this landing. But I mean, this is a small plane. This shouldn't be that much of an issue. And this plane pretty much stops in no time. And so we did stop here. That's good. Even though we totally missed the touchdown zone, we were a little fast coming in. But again, this was just fine. But the bump is a huge problem here, though. It's probably a bug in this scenery. I don't know how this can happen, but yeah, it's hopefully not there in real life, at least. Alright, so let's move on to a bigger plane. Let's try the CRJ-200. You know, pretty much the smallest jet airliner that I can think of. Now, another thing that this airport is known, or perhaps hated for, is its weather situation. You know, weather can get quite extreme in the country of Norway, or in general in Scandinavia. I've made a video about that already. You sometimes really get some extreme winds. And these winds probably don't make it easier to land here. I can kind of imagine, right? Okay, this will be a hard touchdown, but it'll be safe, I guess. Okay, that made it. This landing was probably to demonstrate that you should probably, if you see bumps on your runway, you should probably fix that. Boom. And now we have engine fire going. I don't know how that can happen. Yeah, again, this was a pretty late touchdown. There's something weird about landing here. Like, it's pretty hard to actually touch down in time. I don't know why. But this was another failed landing. Why do we fail all the time? You know, after this failed landing, I think we should try out a bigger plane even. Makes sense. Let's use the 737. Now, even though this airport kind of sucks to fly into from the pilot's side, at least, it does have quite a lot of air traffic for its size. I mean, in 2017, 117,000 passengers were moved at this airport, which is not very bad, especially considering that there's only one airline operating at this airport. This was a very firm landing. We should be able to stop right before the bump or something, which we have. That was just fine. Turns out that the 737 is actually able to stop here as well, even without crashing into this bump here for some reason, which is there for some reason. This time around, the touchdown wasn't really good, was it? Yeah, no, it wasn't. But yeah, we can for sure move on to a bigger plane, right? So we can now move on to the 767, and this is probably where we start running into some issues. We will most probably crash, but let's find that out. Actually, the biggest plane to operate here is the Q400. The Q400 by Bombardier is actually quite a good plane when it comes to landing on short runways. That is good. Now we got a terrain warning, which makes sense. I mean, we're literally operating between mountains and fjords, or however these are called. The landscape here is very interesting, but it's not the best conditions for flying a plane, I think. Okay, let's kind of stop or something. Please, Jesus Christ. Oof. And we're off again. All right, let's come in for the landing, right? Maybe we can stop, right? We hear some clapping in the background. That is a good sign. Oh no. Oh, yeah. Right, this was a pretty good landing, I would say. that was actually pretty on spot, I would say. But that was kind of an overrun. We were actually like genuinely airborne again after this bump. But we would have overrun anyway, so whatever. Wonder what you would do in this case as a pilot. Probably dive. So yeah, this was not a very pleasing... this was probably not a very pleasing landing, right? Maybe, just maybe. What bigger plane can we try? It's probably hopeless. Let's maybe try the 747. I mean... it probably won't work anyway. Let's try taking that plane off from here. Let's try a bit of a magic trick. We're gonna use our thrust reversers to taxi all the way to the end of the runway, or probably in this case to the beginning of the runway, so we can use the whole runway. We might just have a chance of actually being able to take off here. Maybe this bump at the end of the runway might come in handy, right? Because it can serve as a ramp here. It'll probably destroy the landing gear, but that is another story. And we're being launched. Alright, not alright. Oh no. Yeah, it kind of does make sense that jets are not allowed at this airport, maybe. And I can kind of also understand why pilots don't really prefer to land at this airport. You know, especially landing with a plane like the Q400 here is a challenge probably. You know, the Q400 in general is pretty hard to fly. And even for a Q400, a small runway like this can be a problem. Now let's go ahead and land with this DC-3, I think. Yeah. Oof. I mean, that's not a jet, so it should work. Oh. Okay, that actually didn't work. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.